What's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo of Rumor and Innuendo, Studio1Sports.com as well. And yes, like I said, it is Rumor and Innuendo. It's a Wednesday. You know what that means. We're going to get a little excited down in Mexico. But I'm here with Mr. Robert Karpelis, WE Creative _ish on X. Robert, happy Wednesday to you, my dude.
Happy Wednesday to you, sir. Happy Wednesday to everyone joining us all around the world. We will say hi to the fine folks joining us in the chat. Wrestling Old Head says, good after morning, RNI. RIP to Dory Funk Jr. Wild to think he wrestled his last match a mere 2 years prior, and it was a hardcore death match involving Anita.
I forgot about that. That's right. It was.
Wanna Breeze says, hello, RNI. It's been a while since I've been live for a Wednesday show. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Nope, not happening. Nope, not this week. Sorry, Dom. And
sure?
a week where they put a title on Baron Corbin. If you play it, I'm leaving. So yeah, we're not doing that. Willie Thornbrew says, rest in peace, Dory Funk. Imagine the card they can book in heaven now. Devin Dowling throwing us an Ayo. Says, Alpha Juniors main eventing versus Captain Payne at my county fair tomorrow night. Stop the pain.
My goodness.
Yes.
County fairs, county fair wrestling shows. You can't beat them. That was the first independent show it was a county fair wrestling show.
Man, you are super laggy today, dude.
Am I really?
Yeah.
Let me know. I look fine on my end, but I don't know. Maybe I am.
Maybe it's mine. Dre Owen says, hello, RNI. Is Robert in the mood for Domino's like Scott? Man, that was a mind-blowing fact that Scott enjoys Domino's pizza.
I don't mind Domino's here and there. It's like I don't really consider it. I guess it's still pizza, but yeah, I don't mind. I'm kind of with Scott.
Willie Thornburg was saying celebrating 15 years of continuous sobriety with a little rumor and a little innuendo. Well, if you can make it through a week in which Baron Corbin and Big Cass are both prominent in the WWE, you can make it through anything. We got your back here. Wrestling Old Head asked a very important question. Do you think George McFly knew his son Marty time traveled? He had to have remembered that Johnny B. Good's song when it officially came out. No. Because this was something that occurred 30 years prior at a high school dance for a guy who did qualify it by saying, it's an oldie where I came from, so it's not like he took ownership of that song. And if you thought back, and if let's say there was 30 years later, you were 18, so you're 48, so older than we are you going to remember a dude that you met for 1 week back in high school 30 years prior and be able to realize, oh, he looks exactly like this person that you see right now? It's like that picture. Have you seen the pictures of like Nicolas Cage and John Travolta from like the 1900s, the 1800s?
No.
The 19th century is what I meant to say. There are these pictures of these guys who look exactly like John Travolta and Nicolas Cage, but like from 18 whatever. Super weird.
Wow, that is funky. I don't know, though. If somebody looked like your son, wouldn't you be like, man, that looks like the guy? Well, maybe not, I guess.
Well, I would have some issues if saw another dude who looked like my son. But that's a different conversation for a different show, and that's not this show here today. Dom, where are we taking this conversation?
Yeah, let's start off with the passing of Dory Funk. 85 years old he last year. They just had an anniversary with White Marty too.
Dude, you are garbled as all get out.
Audio,
video, audio, the whole nine. It's like I'm talking to Scott Chaplin here.
My goodness, let me exit and enter real quick.
Yes. So Willie Thornburg brings up a very important question while Dom is exiting and coming back. He said, why did they, meaning Doc and Marty, have to use the train engine to push the car if they could have dug up the one that was already buried? This has always bothered me. There was already another one that was under the tarp. This notion, this idea that, oh, this guy is going to look exactly like my son. In an era where they didn't have a lot of photography. You know, you had pictures. The pictures did exist, but it wasn't like social media where you took 1,000 pictures of people. Think back to who sat next to you in your third period class in your junior year of high school, during your English class, junior year, third period. Are you going to be able to remember? You sat next to that person every single day for 7, 8, 9 months. Are you going to remember exactly who it is and what they look like, and then have not seen them for 30 years, and you're going to be able to immediately recall them? I think that's kind of the point that they were making. And it's funny. I was going to tell Dom, don't abandon me during the Dory Funk Jr. tribute piece. In part because Dory Funk is one of those guys who's extremely difficult to talk about, in that a lot of people know that he was popular. A lot of people know he was important. I think Bruce Pritchard broke his once a year X embargo to come on and say that Dory Funk was the most important NWA champion to him. Dory, like a lot of guys from that era, because they didn't have success in the WWE, because they were not a known quantity, a known entity to the WWE audience, a lot of people are not as familiar with their work. And Dory, like a lot of the talents from that era, continued to work well into their 60s and 70s and basically into their 80s. It's very similar to Bullet Bob Armstrong. And if you had a lot of guys, Dom, you're somehow even blurrier than you were before. So I'm so excited. Love that. Love that for you. So I'll just continue to talk while Dom is on mute and verbally blurry as all hell. A lot of people who may have seen Dory saw him very late in their wrestling fandom. So you didn't see the pure version of him. You saw Willie Mays playing for the Mets kind of thing. When I also think back to Dory Funk, I think of the Funkin' Dojo in Ocala, living in Gainesville as a University of Florida student during the peak heyday of at least 1 year of Steve Spurrier. We would see ads all the time for the Funkin' Dojo and that training ground that they had there. And that was back at a point in time where the idea of wrestling schools existing was still pretty mystical. This was like, I want to say 2001. So coming right out of the Attitude Era. And the Funk name, Dory Funk, obviously for a lot of people, they know him primarily as, well, he's Terry's brother. And I think that winds up becoming a little bit of a disservice, given how much of an influence he's had across the industry. He did have that one NWA reign, but it was a very long NWA reign where you traveled around, like you were voted to be the NWA champion. They felt that this is the guy that we can give the title to, and he's going to go out there and draw town after town, city after city, opponent after opponent. It was the ultimate vote of confidence. It's why there were the old timers in the 90s who were so angry when David Arquette became WCW champion, because being world champion used to mean something in the sense of, we as a backroom office community have voted and said, this is the guy who's going to carry our entire territory. This is the guy who's going to be able to lift up the entire industry, and they're not just going to put it on someone who's a fluke. And I keep seeing Jack Briscoe's name coming up there. Yeah, the Funks and the Briscoes, legendary. A lot of that footage doesn't exist, or it doesn't exist where it's so widespread and you're seeing the best versions of them. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of tributes that are going to come out over the days and weeks. I would hope Bruce winds up recording something with Conrad. I have no knowledge of that. I'm sure Bradshaw will talk about it with Gerald Briscoe. Anytime you have someone who passes in the wrestling world, it's always going to be sad. The caveat to that with Dory is the man led a remarkable life. He lived, well past a lot of his peers. And is part of a wrestling family that not only had an enduring legacy, but they got that Hall of Fame induction. And I know we say the Hall of Fame doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot. In that moment, in that instance, when you're on a stage and you have the entire wrestling world basically just saying thank you, that does mean something to those guys.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear.
Nope.
I think
Dory was no, and then you delayed and froze. And Dom is gone.
Hopefully.
Tremendous.
What?
Well, now I can hear you, but you're super delayed. You're killing this show, Dom.
I'm gonna leave. I'll come back, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
It's more of a threat than a promise. But since he's gone, I get to dig into this. Is insane. So he posted the Dynamite preview for tonight. Dynamite is in Mexico, so they're obviously going to load this card like crazy. And because he's not here, I don't have to hear the damn Pointer Sisters. I'm gonna never forgive Tony Khan for making that their official theme song. So I am going to pull up the email that Dom has sent, listing what we have on tap for tonight. So we have Kyle Fletcher versus Speedball Mike Bailey for the AEW International title. As you remember, Speedball Mike Bailey won this opportunity to be the number one contender at their pay-per-view and said, well, I won it in Canada in an international environment. I'm going to challenge for this title in an international environment. There's no way in which I see Kyle Fletcher losing this. I think this is a way to give that crowd a title match. It's going to have a little bit of heft to it. I think Fletcher and Speedball are going to absolutely deliver a hell of a match. But the highest and best use of that title is for Kyle Fletcher to be defending that at All In. It feels like we're moving to a Fletcher versus Okada versus Kevin Knight triple threat match. 3 Don Callis family members, but that'd be a really strong match to put on there. It'd be, I think, Okada one-on-one with Fletcher would be great, but the fact that you keep having Kevin Knight hanging around there makes me think it would be a triple threat, possibly a 4-way if they wind up putting Takeshita into the mix. The Demand, Ricochet, Toa Leona, and Bishop Khan taking on Hangman Adam Page, Bandito, and Brody King for the AEW Trios titles. I guess if Hangman can't be a singles champion, why not making a triple threat champion? This feels like the kind of match that they probably could have built up to for All In. You need a spot for Hangman. You need a spot for Brodito. They're not going to be part of the tag title match. We know that the tag title match, as of now, is Cope and Christian versus the Young Bucks. I believe they'll wind up putting some more folks in there. I think the allure of doing a TLC match involving the Motor City Machine Guns who debuted, possibly involving whatever this iteration of the New Day is going to be. To me, that feels like a strong match for All In. I think putting the trios titles on Hangman and Brodito gives them something potentially to do at All In. Devin Dowling thinks that Hangman's going to fight Jon Moxley at All In. I wouldn't be mad at that, but then it's what do you do with Brody King? What do you do with Bandito? Unless in the darkest timeline, Brody King turns on Bandito and we get a Brody King Bandito match. But I think there's still a lot of mileage to have with those guys as a duo. The Demand retaining because of some sort of outside interference, disqualification, something I wouldn't be mad about. I also wouldn't be mad if the trios titles wind up on Hangman and Brodito, and then they find another 3 competitors to put them in there with the AEW Women's Champion, Willow Nightingale, teaming up with Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor. It's fun to say. It's fun to say Windsor. They're going to be taking on Mercedes Moné, Megan Bayne, and Lena Cross. We'd kind of assumed that was going to be what was going to happen coming off of what happened on Dynamite last week after the interminable Mercedes Moné promo where she interrupted Willow. This is pretty solid booking. You're teaming up your women's champion with the number one contenders for the tag titles against the number one contender for the singles champion against the tag champions. You're using this as a way to promote your All In match. If it's good and it's captivating, that's going to be great. There's no reason to think that it won't be. I think that Megan Bayne and Lena Cross just look really impressive as a duo. There's just something about the way that they have been presented, but unfortunately have not been on television every single week. Someone who has been on TV every single week is Will by God Ospreay as he takes on Mark Davis in a Mexico City street fight. I don't know what the difference between that and a Des Moines, Iowa street fight is, but we sure saw a hell of a one on Monday. And I think that Mark Davis has he's maximized his minutes if we're going to belabor some sport. Oh, Dom's back. I was talking because I had the other screen open with all your stuff up there.
Do I look all right? Do I sound okay?
You sound okay. You look like Eddie Kingston.
All right. All right.
We got Andrade El Idolo versus Commander versus Tommaso Ciampa in a triple threat match for the first entry in the Casino Gauntlet match at All In. Oh, don't put the graphic up, dude.
You don't
Now you're
want the
just making like.
graphic?
No, I'm almost done with going through this damn show.
All right.
I'm assuming this show has got to be 3 hours.
It's got, look at the card. It's insane.
I just said, I'm assuming it's going to go 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's, it's a fun thing here for this Casino Gauntlet. The thing that kind of frustrates me is you went ahead and put the national title on Andrade, and as soon as he got it put on him, the first thing he immediately did was, I'm going to go after the world title.
Right. Right.
Don't love that.
I don't love it either. And like they did the same thing too with Kevin Knight in the TNT Championship. Basically, it's like, okay, well, like, shouldn't you be worried about that title you currently have and not the one over here? I know it's the world title, but you got to get there, right? You got to make all these titles feel important. Or how about just get rid of a couple? I'd be more for that.
I don't disagree. Speaking of titles, the tag champions, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, will be teaming up with Matt and Nick Jackson, take on Jon Moxley, Pac, Wheeler Yuta, and Danny Garcia.
Oh,
wonder if
those
there's
are the
some
Death Riders,
miscommunication between. No, those are not the Death Riders. Those are just 4 nice young men.
Oh, okay.
I wonder if there'll be some sort of wacky miscommunication between the Young Bucks and Edge and Christian to further their issues. The CMLL Women's Champion Persephone will be taking on Chris Statlander in a non-title match.
What?
Tell me you're going to beat Persephone without telling me you're going to beat Persephone. And finally, Mystico, Darby Allin, and Chris Jericho will be taking on Kazuchika Okada, Kevin Knight, and Hechicero. Sure. If we just drew names out of a hat.
Should be a fun show, but
should be a blast.
Yeah. I mean, will it make sense? That will be the question.
I think if it is into 3 hours, I'll be Mysticode.
Could they squeeze this in 2 hours, Robert? Do you think?
No. They squeeze it into 2 hours. I think it's a 3-hour show. The most unfortunate thing, quite frankly, is no MJF, who's always wildly entertaining in a Mexico environment.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that is. Any updates on him about his health or anything like that? Is he just
the trailer dropped for his new movie?
That is true. What's it?
Violent Night 2? Violent? Yeah. Is it Violent Night 2? I don't know. Whatever it was, he's in the trailer. He was funny for the 2 seconds they showed him.
Well, that should be interesting. You know what, though? Maybe somebody else might get into the Hollywood business. Brock Lesnar, Robert. He revealed on Pat McAfee he is officially retired. Your thoughts?
I thought that's how we were going to start the show. I was all ready for that, and you put Dory Funk in there. And it's like,
gotta put the legend up there first.
That's what I said, starting with Brock Lesnar. No. Look, Brock Lesnar retiring, I want to believe it, is the best way that I can put this. I don't know that we're not going to see Brock again, and I don't see any reason why you can't have Brock necessarily come out again for a one-off. We've seen it 3-4 times in his career. The fact that you're doing the Saudi WrestleMania without Brock Lesnar feels a little strange. We went through this exercise of the Godsmack I Stand Alone video after WrestleMania, and we're like, this is the end of Brock, and then Brock was back like a month later. So it is a little bit of the Lesnar who cried wolf. But if this is the end for him, I'm sure he's made enough money that he can go live in his farm out in the middle of nowhere, be very, very content. But I don't see him being a guy who's just gonna be like, yeah, I'm just not gonna come back. I don't think it's kind of like the Dory Funk situation of the guy kind of has to keep wrestling late into his career, other than that itch and just wanting to be in front of that audience. Dre Owen says Lesnar is headlining the Hall of Fame next year, calling it now. I am not going to be surprised if the Hall of Fame is not part of WrestleMania.
You think it'll be over here?
There are so few names who have not gone into the WWE Hall of Fame that are ripe for candidacy now. The only person I could see being willing to do the Saudi Hall of Fame would be John Cena.
Yeah. You don't
Just
think Brock would
because
though for a payday?
I think Brock would for a payday, but I don't know that his family is going to fly over to Saudi Arabia.
That's true. That's
You know,
true.
it's really mad because I feel like a Brock Hall of Fame or a John Cena Hall of Fame would absolutely sell tickets. And I was having a conversation with somebody last night who attends a lot of these big PLE events. Not quite as many as Green Shirt Guy, but definitely a lot. Has the ability with which to do so, and made the decision he's not going to go to Saudi Arabia. There's just too many operational hurdles, travel hurdles, issues with trying to get over there, even for WrestleMania. And he's just like, you know what? I'd rather just sit it out and just watch it at home.
I think, and Robert, that they're going to have it over in the States somewhere because weren't they planning something for New York City that
They're
time?
doing that
Like,
thing in New York, but you need the talent there. You need everyone's, you need Jey Uso sitting in a tuxedo
fair
looking
point.
bored.
Yeah, that's a fair
And
point.
there's there's so few guys left that are just not in the Hall of Fame. So I saw Victoria getting thrown out there, Cyndi Lauper for the celebrity wing. Absolutely. Rick Martel being at SummerSlam, that was no accident. They've been trying to get him in for years. Love to
Yeah.
see the model get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I just think to give up the Brock Lesnar or the John Cena Hall of Fame for ticket sales is a tough one. And I don't know that it necessarily means as much to the Saudi royal family as hosting WrestleMania. Mania is the big spectacle. Losing out on all the other stuff, you could make it another weekend and you could make it its own big thing.
I think you might have hit it right though. Cena, maybe he's the sole inductee next year, and then you kind of have an event for it. It feels like a big deal to the Saudi people because it is John Cena, and then it's a one-off, and that's it for this year. For that
It
year,
is, but I can also see a world where you could legitimately sell out an arena
mm-hmm.
in the US just for the John Cena induction. If they went to Boston and they
Oh
said,
yeah,
we're doing a Hall of Fame ceremony just for John, because John did not want the big send off when he left. He was like, I'm going to win one day, lose the next, retire, and go home.
right.
I think they could absolutely do we're just inducting John Cena. We're going to bring people in to talk about him, put him over, tell some stories. You could get 5 or 6 really big names who would participate in something like that, and give him a chance to to go. Wrestling will have popped me by saying Tiger Ali Singh hasn't been inducted yet.
Yet, indeed.
We will get there for the Kuwaiti Cup Dynamo.
Okay, Robert. Besides Lesnar, besides Cena, give me 3 names that are most deserving to get in right like now.
It's tough because there's always names that you like. I want to say a name and then find out like, oh no, they actually did get inducted, and
Yeah.
I just don't remember. But Martel is absolutely up there. Miss Elizabeth's absolutely up there. Cyndi Lauper from the celebrity side is absolutely up there of just people where it's like, how are they not in
Right.
the WWE Hall of Fame? Chris Jericho
For sure.
is one that we'll absolutely get at some point in time. He'll wind up in the Hall of Fame.
The Hardys.
When they're done, yeah, the Hardys. The thing with those guys, it's like Jeff's gonna wind up with 3 Hall of Fame rings when all is said and done. They'll induct the Hardys, they'll induct Jeff Hardy, and they'll induct the TLC match.
Oh, great point. I forgot about the match thing. Yeah, that's true. Yep, definitely. Batista.
Trey Owens, yeah, Batista was kind of inducted. They did announce him, and then they pulled it back. Look, I love Dave. I would be thrilled for Dave to get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. And guys who are still there, still actively contributing. Mr. Randall Keith Orton.
Oh yeah, he would be somebody too. You could kind of do the Rey Mysterio thing with you, race active wrestler.
I don't think so, because no, because once you go through that Hall of Fame induction and you kind of have that babyface moment, you can't then suddenly be a murderous killer 2 weeks later.
Good point. That's a good point. Oh, yeah, definitely, I agree with that too.
But no, I think when
It is kind of
Randy's
neat Ray got it early. I like that Ray still got it.
well, because Ray is just not human. It's insane that this dude is 50-something years old and is still delivering the way that he is in the ring, taking those bumps. It's very, it was a very tough thing to get into the Hall of Fame for years because it meant that you had to have a legacy that WWE not only cared about but wanted to give airtime to, that they had the footage, and that you were still in the good graces of Vince.
Yeah, he had all those points. So if you had to predict now, no Hall of Fame next year or Hall of Fame next year?
I think there'll be a Hall of Fame. I don't see doing it in Saudi Arabia per se, just because I don't know how many people internationally are going to make the trip.
Yeah,
and also how many guys, knowing it's their one kind of last hurrah, are going to want to have it in front of a half empty or 3/4 empty building.
Right. Of people
the
that
Hall of Fame
probably don't
happens.
care.
The Hall of Fame happens there because we know that your most rabid fans are going to be in attendance. They're going to be coming from all over the country, all over the world. They're going to be the most appreciative, the most excited to see Harvey Wimpleman get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Doing it in Saudi, what is it really getting you?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what we're getting. So we're getting another episode of Rumor and Innuendo tomorrow, as we do every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including the WW Creative _ISH X account, the @Dominic D'Angelo X account, the @SE Scoops X account, and on YouTube on Studio One Sports and Podcast Heat. So on behalf of the man who was here for at least 30% of this show, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karpolis. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Robert, I had faith in you. You carried the whole thing. Good job.